in South America. 8 years old, he saw his grandfather get into a fight and stab someone to death. That spirit of violence and anger came on him. As a teenager living in the Bronx, he was always in trouble. He ended up in prison facing a life sentence. He had 18 counts against him. Everything you can imagine, drug trafficking, violent crimes, theft. It looked like that was his destiny. And sometimes we're thrown into the fire, and it's not our fault. We didn't choose the fire. It's what we were born into. It's how we were raised. He called his mother and said he needed a book on spirits. He thought someone had put a curse on him. His mother called this lady that was involved in the occult. She sent her son a book. He opened it. Much to his surprise, it was the Bible. He was furious. He didn't want to have anything to do with God. The next morning, he picked it up and began to read it. Couldn't put it down. He read the whole New Testament in 3 days. That night, he got down on his knees. Said, God, if you're alive, like you say you are in the Bible, then come into my cell and save me, and I'll serve you the rest of my life. He went to sleep. 5:30 in the morning, he heard a voice calling his name, Salvador. He woke up, looked around, nobody was there. Thought he was dreaming. Went back to bed, heard it again, so clearly, Salvador. He said, I'd taken so many drugs in my life, I knew I was going crazy. The third time he heard the voice, he realized it was God calling his name. His life was forever changed. By the grace of God, he only served 4.5 years. Today, he's Pastor Salvador Sabina, a great pastor in the Bronx. He went through the fire, now he's on fire. He goes all over the world telling his story. The scripture says you'll go through the fire, but you won't be burned. There are things that have come against you that should have stopped your destiny, but the fourth man was in the fire with you. Even when you couldn't see him, even when you weren't making good choices, even when you were running, he didn't let the fire take you out. The enemy meant it for harm. He thought it would stop your purpose. He didn't realize